Wouldn't you want the best for your child?
Please call now. 866-970-GIVE.
All the money stays right here.
It is Cosmo and Kat here on Y107, our 18th annual Missouri Credit Union Miracles for Kids Radiothon. And right now, an opportunity for you to be a miracle maker. We've got some incentives on the board. You can score some of those Kenny Chesney tickets if you're a super miracle maker. Just $1 a day. Find out about that when you call in right now. And our friends from RE/MAX and the Big O Tires phone bank will take your pledge, your call. And again, remember, if you work for the MU system, you can have your donation set up to come right out of payroll deduction. So pretty simple.
Yeah, just text MIRACLE to 51555, or you can Venmo us at Zimmer Radio Group.
So Kelsey is here with us from MU Healthcare and the Children's Therapy Center. You guys have a big old space over on Keene Street, like 10,000 square feet.
Yep, pretty close to it.
What do you fill in that space for all these kids? So much different opportunities and things for them.
Yeah, so we have physical, occupational, and speech therapy at our clinic. We see kiddos as soon as they graduate from the NICU up until they're 21. So it might be they're just post-op and a pretty simple injury that we're going to help them rehab from, up to, the more developmental things that we think about: cerebral palsy, spina bifida, Down syndrome, those kind of things. Our speech therapists do a wide array of treatment and services that they provide. We do some feeding therapy, kids that maybe have trouble swallowing and coordinating, all of that. If we have kiddos that aren't able to communicate verbally, we have devices that we can find a best access point for them to be able to use a tablet or a device to communicate. Our OTs also help identify, good access points. Some of our kids use their eyes to make selections on the screen. It's really cool to see.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I know from meeting kids over the years with the touch screens on the tablets. Blake, for instance, Blake Roberts, right?
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Where he was here a couple of years ago, like holding court, telling jokes.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it was like, wait a minute, is his last comic
joke
standing?
Man, that's for sure.
Is he still working on his
stand-up?
The joke
man,
okay,
yep.
All right, good to know. We'll have to get him in our Children's Miracle Network talent show that we've been talking about doing forever.
Oh, that would be fun.
He could be the next, big comedian on Netflix specials.
Yeah.
So literally every day for you and your coworkers and team is a different day full of all kinds of miracles.
Absolutely.
Is there without necessarily saying a name or whatever, is there a specific story that kind of hits home to Kelsey the most?
There's lots of them. I don't know if I can pick one right off the spot. Sometimes we have kids that we aren't sure if they're going to be able to walk, so we start looking at a wheelchair for mobility pretty early. And usually we put them, if we know that they're going to have some difficulty walking, we'll put them in that wheelchair when they're 9 months old, when they should be crawling. And to see a 9-month-old just start propelling a wheelchair is just awesome.
What?
Putting kids in power chairs, they can drive with their head if they need to, using switches. Just the way technology is advanced and the doors that it's opened for kids is amazing and wonderful.
Wow. The resources are really like for any any type of disability, for lack of a better word.
Yep.
The resources that kids have, the earlier that you can get them in their hands, man, the more that they just power through and overcome.
Yeah, and
it's
research
incredible.
shows, the earlier you start intervention, the more successful they're going to be. Their brains are so much more plastic when they're younger that we can kind of help rebuild some of those pathways and help them make more progress faster when they're younger. So it's great.
So many times we hear from parents or these stories where he was told he was never going to walk, or he was never going to speak, or he was never going to swim or anything. And now, you look at a kid like Eris across the street here, across the room here, and he's, born at 1 pound, 2 ounces. Now he's playing tackle football and, all those things. The Children's Therapy Center, why do you do what you do? Why do you love what you do so much?
Helping impact families, and, they are often handed such a huge... I don't know what the right word is. It's just so much to take on. And so if we can help lessen that and make their lives a little bit easier in whatever way that is, and the creativity that we get to come up with and find a solution for those things, it's not usually the same thing for every kid. It might be kind of similar, but we still have to tweak it. So being able to find those things and really tailor it to that child and their family and what they need to make their life easier and be more independent is just so rewarding.
And while you guys get to teach them a lot of things, I'm sure quite a few of those boys and girls have taught you guys a whole lot of things.
For sure.
Where you just shake your head, you're like, Oh, okay.
I have one kiddo that I started seeing when he was a baby, fresh out of the hospital, and I was prepping his family. We knew where his injury was, that ambulation and walking was probably not going to be a thing, so I felt like I was doing my due diligence, like, this is probably not what we're going to do. He's probably going to have to get around with a wheelchair. He is one of the most proficient wheelchair users. He plays wheelchair basketball. He's just awesome. But he proved me wrong. He can walk, too. He will walk a good.
Wow.
And I told him, like, I bet my license that he will never walk, and I've never been so glad to be wrong.
Yes,
so
yes.
It's awesome.
Yes, and we're glad that he didn't call you on that bet because
He does sometimes still.
we love he's still pulling receipts on Kelsey. I love it. That's great. Well, thank you so much for what you do every day.
Thanks
and your
for doing
team,
this.
and we love being a part of this, and that so much of the resources that you guys end up with in that space is from you guys listening and giving to Radiothon. CMN is a big part of the different resources that go into the Children's Therapy Center. The bell ringing again, Missouri Vein Care. Thank you, Dr. Ryan and his team. Every time you hear that bell ring, another miracle maker on the board. Be a part of the love and the support of these kids right now at 866-970-GIVE.